right, folks. All right. I'm here. Let's get this show on the road, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We are seeing some wild shit happen today in the crypto world, aren't we? I'm going to take a little jog through the chat. Looks like we've got Just Forfeit, Ben, Just My Thoughts, Ivalioni, Damien. All right, you guys are here. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Just Forfeit says, Gary Gensler just got engaged to Nancy Pelosi. Whew, think about that hot, steamy couple for a second, folks. I mean, holy shit. All right, so we are here tonight to discuss a bunch of things. I just need to check the audio. Okay, looks like everything's going through just fine. We're talking about the crypto markets, folks, and obviously the whole Bitcoin thing that just happened is done. And we're going to be talking about some other crazy stuff that's kind of happening behind the scenes and how we're seeing some of the mainstream media really start to shape people's minds around this whole Bitcoin thing right now. It's very interesting, some of the narratives that are being put forth out there. So before we get into all that fun stuff, hit me up on Twitter at Real6Fig, folks. This is where things get real freaky real fast, as you guys know. Bear with me one second here. So yeah, we've got a falling wedge here, and this is something that I've been tracking, and we'll track this throughout tonight's live stream. So with that said, what do we got here? That was what I put out when I advertised this live stream. Cool, folks. A cool 45 minutes ago. All right. I've also got to adjust something here really quick. Okay, bear with me one second. My top of my head's cut off. Gall darn it. No, it's good. We're sitting good. So this is what we are looking at. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking short-term, 1-minute chart, like this thing's ready to poppity pop, if you know what I'm saying. So let's just see here what's happening on this thing. Looks like the falling wedge is falling. Just great news to see. So it turns out that it did execute. You can see how price ran up, but it got basically clobbered by the 236 Fibonacci extension. Back down it went, and now we are really kind of seeing this thing create a larger falling wedge, and it's going to have another crack at that $13.66 level if we can see price action get out of this. Woo! I have been trading my ass off today, folks. And I think I grew my trading portfolio. I know I went back to Mexi. I'm not saying you should trade on them, but I threw like $1,000 on there the other day. And yeah, now I'm at $1,500. So I made $250 trading, or $260 trading today. Whooped some ass yesterday as well. So things are going good. But yeah, we'll check right in on this chart here in just a second. For now, you know, I'm hoping what we see, and we'll check in on this. I'm hoping what we see is a retest of this $13.66 level. I'm hoping we see this thing kind of wiggle right up and try the 200 moving average. Woo! Just Forfeit. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that super chat. Let me, oh dang it, I have no idea how to pin that. Beautiful super chat. You didn't have to do that, and I appreciate that, folks. Any amount helps. You know, there's a lot of overhead when it comes to this business. It's kind of insane, but this was interesting. U.S. senators call for reports on the SEC X account breach. Now, we all know what happened yesterday. I actually had a position wiped out that cost me Luckily, I had stop loss, folks, but it cost me a cool like $60 or something like that. Made it made it all back today, but that was frustrating. So two senators, of course, only two senators, right, have asked the SEC to report on its January 9th X account breach. So this really caused a lot of financial damage to a lot of investors. Here we are, the US SEC causing damage to crypto investors. Go figure. They've been doing this kind of thing forever. So yeah, it is what it is. Analyst predicts 39,000% surge for XRP to hit $220, folks. Be on the lookout for these types of articles. I know everybody's really bullish about XRP and all that stuff. And we're going to just look at the XRP charts here. And I'm going to give you a straight shot take on this. $220, folks. We got to get past the $2 level first before we even get close to thinking about a $200 XRP. Crypto E Greg. The $220 price level is one of the figures that XRP could hit based on his analysis of Fibonacci levels. Okay, now you've got my attention here. Looks like he's got some sort of Fibonacci channel. That is exactly what this thing is called. And we'll throw this up as well. But 220? That's kind of steep for me. I mean, we'll look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this and see if this guy's bullshitting us on a $220 XRP. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is the king of Fibonacci channels other than myself. I will lay the absolute smackdown on anyone trying to come for a Fibonacci channel. Okay, so with that said, $200. I mean, the fibs. This is an interesting setup. I mean, let's look at the XRP market cap. Look at that sea of green, folks. XRP. We're sitting at a $32 billion market cap. So for price to hit $220, 220 divided by 59 cents, 372x times 32, 465, 03766. We'll just go 666, baby. There we go. $220 ain't happening, folks. That's a $12.1 trillion. A $12.1 trillion market cap. Man, I don't know that there's that much money in the entire world, and it sure as hell ain't going to go into crypto. Guarantee you that. But the fibs look great. This is the type of shit that drives me wild. Now, I could see maybe the possibility of a 161.8 run, this bull run. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do some actual legit stuff. How many in the chat are actually holding XRP? I'm not holding any. Should I be? Are you guys holding any? I don't know. You guys need to tell me what to do here. I am just a poor little investor that has no idea what in the hell is going on. $220 XRP, baby. Not happening. Let's see what we got here, guys. Okay, so yeah. Okay, we got a lot of no burgers. Okay, I mean, a couple people in there holding. All right, respect. I'm not here to FUD on it. I think that XRP definitely has this place in crypto. And you know what? As long as there is a valid use case for any crypto project, I don't think that we should really count it out. We cannot count these things out, folks. You know what I did, folks? Let me tell you guys a quick story here. Back in the day, I counted out Bitcoin. And this was when Bitcoin was at $6. I maxed out a Wells Fargo credit card. It had a $1,200 limit, and baby, I maxed that thing right out down to the last penny. And you know what I did? I bought Bitcoin, 200 of them, thinking that I one-upped the whole system. Once Bitcoin ran up to like $7 or $7.50, I sold it all. I made like $200-300. And the interesting part about that whole experience was that I never looked back. I never investigated further. I didn't know what it was. As far as I knew at the time, it was like people would use it on the Silk Road to buy like mushrooms and marijuana and all sorts of bad shit. Don't discount these projects. If they've got good fundamentals, if they got good leadership, if they've got a good community, and mind you, we need leadership in this space that has ethics and do not get themselves into any sort of ethical dilemmas, throughout their tenureship at these foundations. So with that said, we got the GON fans, baby. And you know what? These are going to paint a really cool picture for XRP, for the holders, everybody. So what we're seeing is this invisible cloak come to life, and you guys can kind of see this now. But I do think we're going to see XRP potentially squeeze. This thing could squeeze right into this fall before this thing starts ripping. So I'm just kind of looking at this on the weekly chart. But right now, I'm not bullish. I'm not bearish on it. Things are looking pretty good. So there is definitely a symmetrical triangle squeeze on XRP. And I don't want to spend too much more time on this because we got some crazy madness going on today, especially in the news. So let's just go ahead here and throw this up. For XRP, conservatively, this bull run, I'd be targeting a price. I mean, a lot of people have been accumulating XRP for a long time. A lot of people have been scared off by the whole SEC shenanigans with XRP, things like that. I would put a target on this thing at, $3.25 to $4 maybe. There's money to be made, but that would be my, trader brain, making some marks and reevaluating. Sure, it could get up to $4. Then I might reevaluate the situation and figure out that, hey, this thing might run up to $9. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to kind of look through the chats here. 62 strong, it looks like. Thank you all for being here. Thanks again, Just Forfeit, for that super chat. Davey says he added some more XRP. That a boy. This is an interesting article. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. I appreciate that, folks. I appreciate all this stuff. Jason Mugg says, my man, pulling out the GON fan. Today was the beginning of wealth transfer. New house for the wife coming up. Well, congratulations to you and your new wife, or you're not your new wife, but congratulations to you and your wife for the new house. That's awesome. I kind of have something very similar going on with myself. I own some properties, and after this bull run, I'm going to pay them off, and get rid of those pesky payments. JASMY, quick JASMY TA. I'll get to that right after the spot ETF Ethereum article. And this is really cool, because like when I saw this article, shout out to Cointelegraph, Braden Lindria. I butchered that. But spot Ethereum ETFs now have a straight shot for approval. And there is a great point to that headline. And simply because now we've got the framework set up to actually launch a crypto ETF, they're exactly right. Now it's going to be a lot easier for these institutions to propose all these ETFs of whatever coin it is that they want. So we're going to be seeing a lot of cool stuff happening in the next year or two. I can guarantee you that. So it is what it is. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, JASMY, 99% of the coins are out. Okay, cool. Let's just pull up JASMY quick. You know, there's another guy named Bitcoin Renegade who is, I don't know if he still is, but he was into JASMY, man. He would always talk about JASMY. But yeah, JASMY, man, this is looking just like the Bitcoin or the Definity chart. They launched during a bear market. That's what happened with JASMY. So when we're seeing anything launch in 2021, you know, guaranteed that's a bear market move there. You guys can see the last technical analysis that we did on JASMY. This thing is ranging right now. But I do think that this might not necessarily be a bad thing to see JASMY down right now. And here's why. Because it is making one of the most tremendous patterns, folks. And all that. Bitcoin Renegade is live too. Okay. I did not know that. So, yep, he's doing his thing. And folks, really without Bitcoin Renegade, I would have never discovered ICP. Never would have blinked an eye at it. I would have never I would have never uncovered that FTX had been running the shadiest exchange known to man. All that stuff. And if you guys are interested in hearing more about that, basically I was the one who uncovered FTX was using its exchange for evil nearly 2 years ago. And Ben Armstrong, formerly known as BitBoy Crypto, was the only like influencer that would listen to me or hear me out. He listened to me and he helped amplify that. So big shout out to Bitcoin Renegade, to say the least. But JASMY, back to JASMY. There is this huge pattern that I do believe could be playing out right now. So right now, this pattern, in my opinion, has been playing out since September of 2022. So this is about a year, just over a year-long pattern. When you see these large patterns over a large time frame play out, typically you will see possibly another large move. So there's actually a few different things that I'm seeing here that are very bullish right now for JASMY, actually. Number one is this potential inverse head and shoulders. And when I start to see these types of patterns forming, we got crypto air porn in the house. Smash that like button, baby. Thanks, bro. But when I start to see these gigantic patterns, I start getting excited, folks. Like the dude from the Viagra commercial. This is it. This is the real deal. I do think that JASMY could be setting up for something like this. We're going to clear this, and I'm going to show you two other bullish things that could be happening. Now, on this right shoulder of this this choppy price action here, I'm seeing a couple of glorious things. So number one, basically, and there's something else that I'm going to show you too that I'm super bullish. Basically, but I tried to get Crypto Airborne to come on live with me, but he said, no, I'm too tired. Bro. But what we could be seeing, folks, is a cup and handle here out of this formation as well. On a grand scale, JASMY's looking good to me, at least. And to boot, we could also make the argument that these lows are getting higher, and we could possibly be seeing somewhat of a ascending triangle or something like that. I don't know how far JASMY is going to come down right now. My guess is that we see this cup and handle form, especially with the market sentiment. So I'm hoping we get that. So that's my take on JASMY, guys. So yeah, big thanks and shout out to Just Forfeit for that. Back to the news. So yeah, the Bitcoin ETFs have now paved the way for everything. I don't care what kind of crypto you've got. They are going to have a full house of all these coins that investors are going to be able to choose from. They want people into everything. This was interesting, folks. This was very interesting. So this hit the air tonight. Watcher Guru, follow them. This was crazy. So JP Morgan CEO says Bitcoin has no value and its use cases are sex trafficking, tax avoidance, money laundering, and terrorism finance. Okay, so this is what's going on, folks. When you start to see, let's see, Crypto Airborne, EGLD Multiverse X, nice descending broadening wedge played out. Okay, that'll be a $5 super chat, sir. But what we are seeing right now is a lot of these like financial institutions are going on mainstream media and they are basically fudding all of crypto right now. And they're doing this so that they can get in before everyone else does. They don't want everybody else to rush in. They want to build their portfolios up and then they want to have everybody else rush in over a period of time so they can offload their bags. I guarantee you this. And folks, when they start to say that its use cases are sex trafficking, tax avoidance, money laundering, and terrorism and finance, well, nothing is used more than the US dollar for all of those above. In fact, JP Morgan helped Epstein and they paid like $100 million fine or like a $50 million fine or something like that, $200 million fine, because they helped sex trafficking. They helped facilitate it through their financial system that they have set up. So this guy right here, I guarantee you, he is possibly involved with sex trafficking more than Bitcoin is, for sure. Bitcoin, all crypto for the most part, except for your privacy coins. You know what I'm saying? It's a public ledger. Crazy. This was interesting. Elon Musk, folks. I miss the days where Elon Musk would shitpost about crypto. But we just don't see anything coming out from Elon Musk anymore. He just doesn't tweet about anything. And guys, guess what? It is driving me nuts because I was holding a bag of Dogecoin for the longest time after he bought Twitter. Man, I was hoping he would integrate that right into the platform. Maybe it will come. But I do know that Elon Musk has recently filed for some sort of permit or license to allow him to sell assets and cryptocurrencies and maybe stocks, kind of like what Robinhood has going on. So, this guy might have to stay quiet about this stuff while those licenses are getting ironed out and things like that. But this was interesting. So Kathy Wood, basically asked Elon about Bitcoin and the ETF. And his answer was straight up. He basically said that he was open to the idea of using Bitcoin on X, but he thought little about Bitcoin in his daily life. Musk had previously said similar things about cryptocurrencies, blah, 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 blah. But I guarantee you that everybody and their brother would go out and buy a Tesla, that everybody and their brother that's holding Dogecoin would buy a Tesla if he just integrated it into Twitter. Is what it is. Shiba Inu whale scoops up 1.44 trillion amid price slump and burning spree. So there's some whales out there that are starting to accumulate SHIB and things like that. And this is $13.3 million. A $13.3 million holla. So that is very significant. To see this type of activity happening with meme coins. And look at this beautiful, beautiful sea of green. We got EGLD up 8%. I'm trying to find ICP. Where the hell is it? I don't know who you guys out there. Who's trading FTX out there? Shame on you if you're trading FTX. Solomon says, Jamie Dimon is just mad that the world doesn't go through his blockchain. You know, I think he's got a point there. But yeah, let's look at the top 3 hundo. Top 3 hundo, we got a lot of stuff going on with CKB. CKB is a sleeper in my opinion. I love this. I've met pretty much all the team. I've flown around the world to meet these people that work for Nervos Network. This is a very grassroots organization with a low market cap right now. So good to see that they are up. I've got a giant bag of this. We'll do CKB TA in just a second. Now is your time to start shilling the chat with your favorite shitcoins, altcoins, the most ridiculous garbage coins that you guys could ever think of. We're going to start off with Bitcoin on this. Bitcoin really has underperformed since this whole announcement, in my opinion. Just saying. I think that it is underperforming right now. But on the daily, we are seeing this thing rip from 44, 45 up to like 48,000. This thing's nipping at the 61.8 at 49,000. So this thing's got to get past the $49,000 mark. And we're about to see, starting tomorrow, billions and billions of dollars potentially start flooding into Bitcoin. So we might see some God candles. Like this thing might rip to 58,000, 70,000, 85,000, like within the next couple months. People are going to start paying attention to it once it's up to 80,000, 100,000. And guess what? Then they're going to start aping in. And once you notice that let me tell you guys something. You know, if I could give anybody advice from the last bull run, bear with me one second here. Very parched tonight, guys. If I could give anybody advice here, I want you guys to listen to me for a second. If I could give you any advice, the number one thing that you need to have lined up for this bull run is an exit plan. You need to have an exit plan that is realistic, that is, in my opinion, an exit plan where you do not try to basically time the exact top. Look at me. I'm one of the best traders I know of. I've been trading all day. I've been the whole month of December until today. I have not taken one loss with the exception of yesterday's SEC tweet that caused me to drop a stop loss and lose $60. But I tell you what, if you do not have a realistic exit plan out of this next bull run, make your money and get the hell out. Because everybody else is. They just might not be telling you. Have goals. Have some discipline. Find a way to hold yourself accountable. Do not FOMO in. And when these markets start to get crazy, the amount of money that gets flowing all over the place is crazy. Don't start chasing tickers after you've seen these things run up 50x already. Yeah, KS, need to hear this. First bull run. I'm being real with you guys right now. You know, when it's time to get out, it's time to get out. Because guess what? There is always going to be another bear market, regardless of the ETFs. In fact, I think that we could see bull markets and bear markets get even wilder with all of these ETFs, especially in a few years. And we see Wall Street manipulated all the time by all these firms, folks. And this is an even better opportunity for them to perform their market manipulation, simply because the entire crypto market cap is a couple trill. Bitcoin is $1 trillion. Very easy asset to manipulate, especially for folks at BlackRock. They are here to strip us of all our cash, not to save us. Cathie Wood, here to strip us of all our cash. The dude, the El Salvadorian president, as much as I love the guy, guess what? They've got to eat too. And they're going to take the food right off of our plate. So have that plan. Get out. Don't look back. Have a very conservative plan where you won't feel bad looking back at the price. Okay, maybe I sold Bitcoin at 70,000 and it went up to 90,000. Well, who gives a crap, right? As long as you're making thousands of dollars. I just, also, this is the biggest one. And this is one thing that I learned from a lot of people. And this is not something that I ever practice. Don't do this over leverage stuff. If you're going to use leverage, personally, I don't go above like 5x personally. Maybe I'll hit 7x here and there, but keep your leverage in check. Don't be doing wild stuff. Don't be trading crypto with money that you can't afford to lose. I saw people the last bull run, especially with Voyager. Voyager was an app like Coinbase or crypto.com. It was an app. And the thing with Voyager was it had the best, even to this day, it had the best user interface that you could ever ask for. But there was way too much hype around it. The leadership did a whole bunch of shady stuff. And basically what ended up happening was I remember people were actually selling like their vehicles. They were going out, getting as many credit cards as they could and maxing these things out on the VGX token. And unfortunately, that thing got absolutely wrecked. So it is what it is. I do agree with Damien here. It's way too early to even think about selling, but I do think that you need to have some like realistic goals and a plan in place, whether it's a short-term or a long-term trade or both. So yeah, that's my thing right now. I hope you guys took that with a grain of salt. If you ever hear people start saying that this bull run, this is different, pay no attention to that, okay? Trust me on that one. So yeah, right now Bitcoin, on the daily, this thing's looking good. There's a very nice bull flag on the RSI, and we can clearly see this right here. And a lot of people just think that patterns can exist up here on the basically on the charts. It's just right here. You can see this stuff all over. So right now we've got an incredible opportunity for a bull flagpole and a bull flag. You guys can kind of see it right there on the RSI. Doesn't mean we're going to actually get any pops or anything out of it, but I do think that there's an opportunity here for Bitcoin to maybe pull off some sort of maneuver. Weekly chart, man, this thing's looking real good, especially on the perps, MEXC perps. Speaking of MEXC, I got a trade open. I got a futures trade open on ICP. So yeah, this thing's looking good. I mean, man, this thing's gonna, on the weekly, in my opinion, this thing is probably seeing some sort of Elliott wave theory. It wouldn't surprise me to see this thing run up to 49,000 or 58,000 after the ETF stuff happens. But be prepared for a little bit of a drift. Let's say this Ichimoku cloud and 50 moving average follows like this. Be prepared for a little sideways or downwards chop. You know, once we hit this $49,000 or $58,000 level, I just think the relationship to the cloud on the weekly is too far on the weekly chart. So I mean, yeah, things are looking are good. Let me just look at the charts here. So here's the Bitcoin market cap dominance. You know, I was telling people a couple of weeks ago, hey, watch out for this. Bitcoin's going to lose a bunch of dominance. We'll see the alts prosper. Exactly what happened. CKB. You know, CKB, let's look at this thing on the weekly. This is you know, one of my gems. I want to look at this on the Binance chart, though. All right, so let's clear all this stuff. So right now, CKB on the weekly is really kind of tangling with this 50 moving average. And I do see that CKB is pulling off this symmetrical triangle squeeze. Now, I do hope that we see CKB target this little area here of this Ichimoku cloud on the weekly, because I would love to see a CKB. Gosh, guys, I get CKB and ICP always mixed up all the time. But on the weekly, I'm hoping that we can target this little area here. You can see people are buying this wick down. So people are buying this dip, and we're seeing CKB, you know, just trade within this fine symmetrical triangle squeeze. So if you hear of people telling you that there's an asset that's squeezing, basically what they mean is that the buyers and sellers are coming close to an agreement on price, and we see this price action squeeze. And eventually one of those sides prevails, and you see the token go down, or you see it go up. So in this case, I am hoping that we see CKB really start rising. But right now, this is in a sideways consolidation pattern. And I do think that it might not be till, you know, maybe February before we see this thing. Maybe I would love to see this thing retest the 0.004-ish levels soon. So, you know, CKB, it's looking okay right now. It's in this sideways holding consolidation pattern. One of the reasons why I haven't made too many videos about it since like November is because this thing's just been trading sideways. I'm gonna check out the chat here quick. Pink Panther, when your drunk uncle asks about buying crypto, time to get out. You couldn't be more right. Goal is to not ever sell and live off staking and the interest. Damien, that would be sick. Every 10th of the month, ICP dips in price. All right. Okay, so Just Forfeit says the first exposure to crypto is 2021 bull run. Like when Ethereum Classic was running up to $200, didn't have an exit plan, nor knew about cycles, etc. I was up 50K, watch it drop to 7K. I'm sorry that happened, but there has been a lot of instances just like that, and I know a lot of people that have done the exact same thing. And folks, I know one person, and I'm not naming names or anything, and it happened to be probably one of the best lessons I've ever learned in my life through somebody else. That was super resistant to selling. They wrote $100,000 bag roughly up to, you know, million plus, and got wrecked. One of the biggest tragedies I've ever seen in my life too. But things get better, you know. People rebound. So that is what it is. Bear with me 1 second here. All right. So we are going to check out some of these other projects here that you guys have been shilling. And okay, you know, here's one that we haven't done a whole lot of TA on. Pulse Chain. I want to know in the comments section. Pulse X? I don't even know what the ticker is. Pulse X? Pulse? Okay. Here, I think this is it. Pulse X. Let me know the ticker on it. I don't know that I've ever looked at Pulse X. Have I? Somebody in the chat help me out. What the hell is Pulse X ticker? Is it PLS? Pulse X from Pulsame? Is this not on regular exchanges? Pulse X? PLS. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you. I appreciate that. PLS. All right. All right. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. Okay. I'm going to look at Pulse USDT spot on BitGet. Is this not on a whole lot of exchanges or what? Thoughts on the ICP meme coins such as Ghost, Dami, EXE, or Windows? Ah, man. You know, I stay away from these little meme coins and stuff like that. You know, to be honest with you, I don't know that I could recommend any of those just because I have not done my research on them. I don't know anything about the tokenomics on any of them. I am just more of like a straight up ICP. The other altcoin within the ICP ecosystem that I do own is Origin. I own Gold Token, you know, some of that stuff. But as far as like the meme coins go, I last I checked, I had like 200 Ghost tokens or something like that. So yeah, I don't really have much exposure to them. Okay, so Solomon says Pulse is only on Safe Trade and Bitcoin. Bitcoin, or is it BitGet? Try from, okay. Yeah, I mean, Ghosts, you know, Ghosts seem, a lot of people are bullish on Ghosts. I know people that have made a lot of money on Ghosts. I think I have like 200 Ghost tokens. Literally 200. Let's see here. Pulse Chain. PLS. Is this not it? Okay. I don't know, guys. We're going to have to... I don't know if this is the right one. Pulse X is like Uniswap? Okay. We're gonna come back to Pulse X. Why don't you guys get it figured out? We are gonna look at GRT next. Somebody was talking about the graph. I think no, that's not GRT, is it? All right, so we're gonna look at this GRT. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. Oh, I'm really liking what I'm seeing on GRT, baby. Now I do think that, okay, so Pulse appears to be only on sketchy exchanges. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you hear about it all the time. You hear about Richard Hart all the time. You'd think that it'd be on like Coinbase or something. The way he dresses, dude, dresses to the nines and Gucci and all that stuff. This is very interesting situation with GRT right now. Okay. I was thinking we could have a harmonic pattern, but the biggest thing that I'm seeing right now with GRT, and this is something that a lot of people, I do believe, might get confused for some bearish pattern. Let me know in the comments section if you guys have ever heard of double tops. So yeah, there's double tops on this chart, but the thing is, these double tops are like a year apart, so I'm not too worried about it. The one thing I'm really loving about the GRT charts, baby, is the simple fact that there is, folks, a very nice, and when I say very nice, bitchin' ascending triangle that is happening. You can see this. Now, with that said, on GRT, I don't know what's going to happen with this, obviously. I'm like a weatherman sitting here talking into this camera. So, with that said, you know, we've got this very nice ascending triangle, super ultra bullish thing that you want to see on a chart. However, it's not that developed in my opinion. We've got a trend line. It would be ideal to see this thing maybe wander down a little bit more to maybe check this trend line a little bit more, or to maybe check this 200 moving average on the daily. Let's just look at this thing on the weekly. Okay, so the good news is on the weekly, people are buying the dip. You can see the weekly candle here. This baby closes in 3 days, 21 hours. People are buying this. Whenever you start to see, I'll give you guys a little candlestick education here. But basically, the way a candlestick works is this body here is the open and close session. So during this weekly session, we had highs. Basically, it closed. Basically the highs ended up these wicks. During this session, it got to 20 cents. And the bottom looks like it was about 16.5 cents, somewhere in there. And then basically the open and the close is right here. Now, the open on these Heiken Ashi candles is always going to be this 50% mark. So the way Heiken Ashi candles go, a lot of traders, they don't know anything about candles. They use these types of candles. These are regular candles. They suck. And guess what? I like Japanese Heiken Ashi candles. And this is one thing that I've just gotten used to over the years. It's a lot cleaner, and every candle starts at the 50% level of the preceding candle. So you can see this candle opened at midway on this candle here. This candle opened midway on this candle here. You guys get the drift, right? So this wicked up during this week. So we saw session highs get up to 22 cents. So you guys can kind of see it. So what's happening is we had this session opened at 16, 17 cents. It ran up to 17.9, somewhere in there. It even wicked up to 18 cents. This thing's gone as low as 14 cents. But when you see these long candle wicks like this, that means price went way down and then it's been bought right back up. So if price dips from this 16.85 down to like 15 cents, you'll see this body of this candle get bigger and move down. Thank you, Just Forfeit. Man, you are spending way too much money on this channel tonight, bro. You know what it is. I appreciate that. Love seeing you engaging with your community. Coins once in a while. Yeah, you're welcome. I hope people enjoy that, messing around. My ears are always open to feeling out what the cryptoverse is, putting out there. So yeah, right now with GRT, I know we spent a lot of time on this, but I would like to see GRT maybe do like one of these things and give us that solid inverse head and shoulders lift off. We might see a little bit of that cup and handle form here before we take off to the races. Price, in my opinion, too far from the Ichimoku cloud at this point. It's going to take a month, maybe, of choppiness to get through this. Let's look at the next one. And I might be missing some in here, so we'll look at Cardano. Let me know in the comments section. How many of you guys are holding Cardano? I want to know. So the last time I did a live stream on Cardano, I was speculating that we could see Cardano run up to the 236 at about 71 cents. So what happened? Well, we saw this thing run up to the fib. Elliott wave theory to the upside, in my opinion. And I do think we need to look at this thing on the weekly chart. So, okay, so this thing's kind of tippy-toeing towards the cloud on the weekly. This is a very interesting scenario with Cardano. And I do think like in the coming weeks, maybe in the coming months, we're going to see something like this happen. And we're going to see this 200 go like this. And what we're going to see possibly is for price to kind of wiggle its way over to the shoulder of this Ichimoku cloud on the weekly. And I do think from there, it's off to the races. I do. I don't think this thing's going to go anywhere anytime soon. But I do think that we're going to see some resistance levels around the 71 cents area, and maybe in between this 40-cent area. Gosh, you know what? I don't know that it's going to hit down there that low again. So we get some weird shit happening, you know, maybe 40, 45 cents. You know, I'm hoping this is like one of my favorite plays, actually, like on these longer weekly charts. And I'll tell you guys, we'll do the ICP chart in just a second. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Quantum Block VC. I appreciate that. Super chat. Dude, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. But basically, what's going on here is the fact that we have price action squeezing in between two of the most incredible, influential forces, in my own opinion, of trading: the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average. I've been trading with these two things for the last 15, 20 years. They're on every single chart, everything. I promise you. So, you know, with that said, I think that, you know, it's logical to assume that we might see a flag or something like that. I would like to see Cardano actually do an ascending triangle, just like what we were discussing, and then start ripping. So right now, I think this thing's going to pretty much trade sideways in between 46 cents and 67 cents till like maybe March. February, March, somewhere in there. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, a lot of people. Okay. Let's do, anybody in here? Let me ask you guys this. Anybody in here? A lot of people say they're moving their Cardano to ICP. Interesting. So yeah, so I don't know if Bitcoin Renegade, or excuse me, Big Crypto Airborne is still in here. But we had him. Oh my goodness gracious, what is going on with my chart? But basically, he had requested EGLD, Elrond. You know, they got a solid. Okay, so we got Crypto Airborne still lurking. Yeah, Crypto Airborne's an OG. For sure. So yeah, we had this humongous, you know, basically a falling wedge, which is super bullish. And now we had what is called a rising wedge hit Elrond. You know, I've been talking about this for maybe a week or two now. I said it's going to get ugly, but it's not going to get that ugly because this is just such a small pattern here. And I do think that this is the start to possibly something greater for Elrond. You know, full disclosure, I think I don't know how many I have. I think I have like 50 or 20 or 50. I have no idea, but I've got like 40 or 50 of these things. You know, I am thinking that we could be seeing, and of course, folks, the one thing that you guys need to understand when it comes to trading is that you need to get to the point in your trading ability where you can go ahead and basically evolve from a reactionary trader to more of a predicted, you know, path of a trader. And I say this because we're going to pause here for a second. Okay, thought bro was sleepy, aka Crypto Airborne, wondering how his rash is doing. Damn. Yeah, let us know how that, you know, so Crypto Airborne got hit with a nasty, nasty rash. Man. He's telling me some weird stuff that was going on. Just kidding. That's like a running joke that's been going on for like 2 years. He always pop into my feeds and start asking me about my rash, and then I'd always start popping into his live feeds, and I'll ask him about this stuff. But I think that with Elrond, I think we're seeing the very beginning, folks, of Elliott wave theory to the upside. I think we might be gearing up to see, something like this. I mean, EGLD's still cheap. It's $57. Not as cheap as it was back in September. Wow, I can't believe this thing was at like $20. I think I bought somewhere over in here in like the $40 range. That's probably why I haven't been paying too much attention to my bag on it. But with that said, I do suspect that, when it comes down to the ground fundamentals of Elliott wave theory, there are some rules that you must follow. And this is a learning lesson for all of you, and I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying. So when we start to look at, a humongous, like this, guys, you see this? This is a multi-year falling wedge. I haven't seen a pattern this big in a long time. It's a long time coming. Now, with that said, traditionally, when we start looking at what is called Elliott wave theory, it's a brilliant discovery. And basically, you see how these jagged lightning bolt trend lines. And these are basically impulse waves. Now, impulse waves move at the rate of, 0 to 5. And by the standard of Elliott wave theory, 0.2 to 3 cannot be the shortest wave. By default, that means we need to have basically 0.0 to 1 be the shortest area at this time. Now, what I like to do is draw up a little trend line like this. And what I like to do is just throw it up like this. And once you know it, so we're trying to really very closely. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. My computer is haunted. My computer is haunted. I might have to use some of these super chats to buy me a new computer. Because this motherfucker is haunted. I guarantee you. It's been doing a bunch of strange things all the time. The last few live streams, wild stuff was happening. But when we start to look at this, we know that 0.3 must exceed this trend line here for this to be valid. What's the next best thing? The 382 at about $221. I would love to see Elrond move up that high to $221. But we still have 0.5 to basically account for. 0.5 must be always higher than 0.3. And the thing that you risk when you're coming down from 0.3 to 0.4 is the fact that even though things are looking good, you could be experiencing one of the most catastrophic setups that you could ever subject yourself to. Sorry, I just got a phone call. And that is basically a clean neckline for, guess what, folks? Let me know in the comment sections if you know what I'm about to tell you. I want to just see where you guys are at. Let me know in the chat what I'm about to say. What am I looking for right here? Let me know. This is this whole forward thinking shit. So basically what you have to be on the lookout for at around 0.3 to 4, maybe going into 5, is that you don't get ripped by some head and shoulders pattern that's coming to take you. But I do think that there could be this opportunity for Elliott wave theory to progress up to the 61.8 and around 344, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I do think that this bull run is going to get really wicked for a lot of these coins. The one thing that I like about Elrond is that it's got 21 million tokens in circulation. I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think it's like 21 million. So you have to think like this thing ran up and people have been accumulating all the way down to $22. What do you think is going to happen? I think that a lot of times we will see Elliott wave theory within Elliott wave theory. So let's just say this was the very hypothetical. Let's just say this is the very hypothetical setup that happened. We might be gearing up to see Elliott wave theory do something like this, where we see Elrond go to crazy levels. That's why I only have like 40 of these, and I'm just kind of hanging on to them for like the long term. They're not something that I'm going to sell in the short term. Seems like a solid project. Head on over to Crypto Airborne's channel. He likes EGLD a lot more than I do, and he's been covering it for a lot longer than I have. But yeah, from what I can tell, it's a solid project. I'm invested in it. So yeah, solid coin there. Let's just check out ICP. How many people we got in here? About 59, 60? Okay, so I'm seeing VRA. Okay, let me know in the comments section. Are you guys holding crypto.com Crow coin? I think this one's going to do well. And I say that because this thing has really, folks, survived the bear markets. A lot of these crypto exchanges have like survived the worst bear market possibly, like ever. Crypto.com, this thing's ripped down to the 786. And I do think, we got this very clear bull flag bull, and we got a very nice bull flag here. So I do think that like we're going to see this thing start ripping again. We just need to keep our eye on it. This has some really nasty wicks. This is a perpetual futures chart, so people have been getting really wild there. Oh yeah, okay, so just forfeit. Okay, yes, I knew it was right around that 21 million. EGLD has 26 million coins, 84% in circulation. Okay. Ty Fan says, "Oh, I have ICP locked for 3 years. Can I unlock it?" Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. Not sure. You'll have to look into that. Yeah, going into the bull market, I do not have anything locked up like at all. Oh my goodness, ICP is at 1333 right now. And you guys can see that I have been just going wild trading this thing. I'm going to just hone in on the 1 minute chart for ICP. Okay, this thing just keeps dragging out. And this is the 1 minute chart. So let's just flip over to the 5. And you guys can kind of see this falling wedge here. That is happening. If you guys notice these Ichimoku clouds, I've been trading Ichimoku clouds for years and years, as long as I can remember. The thing with the Ichimoku cloud, folks, this is one of the best kept secrets, like, in my opinion, of trading. And I'm a big time like supporter of Japanese style trading. I love going to Japan. I've been there 3 times. It's just this insane country with a lot of smart people, especially when it comes down to the financial industries, things like that. But they designed, there's a few people over there. Heiken Ashi candles, that's Japanese candles. And the cloud, the Ichimoku cloud, is Japanese as well. And basically what I love about the Ichimoku cloud is this really does help me gauge bounces and things like that. And really when it comes down to it, the one thing I love most about the Ichimoku cloud is that when I see price getting too far from the cloud, I know it's time to get out. Especially when you start seeing these red candles happening, it's time to get out. And it works both ways. I have almost mastered the dips and buying the dips and selling the tops just based off this methodology. So with that said, I mean, even as we're speaking right now, We're kind of seeing ICP pump. I'm hoping we can break out here. But yeah, right now, you can see this little horseshoe of the cloud. Price action is just too far away. So there's a few things that are going to happen here with ICP. We're looking at a 5-minute chart. Usually I like to trade, like a 4-hour chart somewhere in there. But let's just look at the 5-minute chart for the time being because we're in the moment right now. And folks, I do think that there might be an attempt for ICP to maybe rip up to like this $13.52 level. Unfortunately, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything. I do think that there could be some potential for maybe a retest of this 200 moving average or something like that. Yeah, why I'm bullish on JASMY. Japan doesn't fail. I mean, they don't fail often. Yeah, like you said, they're it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, a lot's happening right now. I just want to look at ICP with the 4-hour chart so we can get a very clear understanding, or try to get the best understanding that we could possibly ever get. So what I'm hoping for right now on the 4-hour chart for ICP, folks, is that maybe we can get, and you can kind of see my trend lines have been kind of drawn here. I'm hoping that maybe we can see this price wiggle up to, the $16-ish level again. And maybe we can see something like this going off towards the end of January. So as far as ICP is concerned, this is a doozy. And I do think that, there could be a solid chance at this $22 region. I've been talking about this $22 region now for a while, but I do think that there could be this chance for a shoulder bounce. And it's not, it is very frequent that you'll see, assets bounce off the shoulder of the Ichimoku cloud, but it's going to try this $22 level, pretty hard. But we are building up, the nicer platform we can build up here, the further up we can shoot. So, this is the daily chart. It's looking pretty good. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same about the weekly chart. RSI, this thing's about still at 83 points. I mean, it's very high. Its price action is kind of close, far away from the cloud, in my opinion. So, on the weekly, I'd like to see ICP kind of do one of these things, and then bounce. Maybe we'll get a phenomenal bounce on ICP in April. I'm just looking at the comments here. So what's my thought process when it hits the cloud? Well, I'll tell you a few things, and I can't tell you about this on the ICP chart. But let's look at the origin chart, and then I will answer that question. And I promise you, I will answer that question with the most detail that you could ever imagine. So with origin, I mean, look at this, folks. Origin, I don't know when the last live stream I did was. It was, I don't know, a week ago or so. But I was talking to people, and I was telling people, I said, we got this bull flagpole, and we got this symmetrical triangle squeeze, folks. I'm telling you guys, hit that notification bell when I go live, because I guarantee you that I will give you the honest to God opinion and my honest to God feelings on this technical analysis that I could ever give. 13,000 subscriber giveaway. Yeah, I saw that. I'm about I don't know, 50 or 60 or 70 subs away from 13,000. It's been a grind, and I'm so very much thankful for everybody who has subscribed to my channel. When I first started doing YouTube, I was happy if I got 50 people to watch my video over a week. I have been hammering it out now, and I'm very proud to say that, within a few hours of releasing a video, I can get anywhere from 500 to 1,200 views. it is just this amazing feeling that people keep coming back. So thank you all for being here tonight. Just forfeit. I'm going to think of something clever to give away. Yeah, so here we have it. The bull pennant, the bull flag, whatever you want to call this. This could go either way. This could be construed as a bull pennant simply because the GON fans are squeezing the hell out of this thing, or we could see maybe of a flag pattern here as well. So I do think that we are going to see Origin start to basically giddy up, and I'm hoping to see Origin maybe rip up to this 5 cent level, or high 4 cent levels. Origin is just interesting. However, if this squeezes downward, be prepared to see this 0.015 penny level. It's just not that well known yet, so we'll just have to kind of play it by ear on Origin. But back to Solomon's question on what my thought process is when things hit the Ichimoku cloud, when price action hits the Ichimoku cloud. And I'm going to use Bitcoin on the daily chart for this example. Now, before I explain this, I want you guys to understand something. When I look at the Ichimoku cloud, there are two things that I pay attention to the most. Actually, there are three things that I pay attention to the most. Some are not as important as others. One of the main things I pay attention to is whether or not the price action is a considerable distance from the Ichimoku cloud. And in just a second, we are going to go over all of this at a very high level. Probably the highest level you'll ever see it be discussed at live. So I'll look at price action and its relationship as far as like proximity to the cloud. Second thing I look at is the size of the cloud. In my opinion, the size of the cloud does determine whether or not we will see candlesticks, assets, things like that, be able to trade through the cloud. Third thing, I'm looking at the conversion and baselines. And right now, Bitcoin, for example, when we start to think of a conversion line and a baseline, on my charts, you'll always see the baseline as blue, and you'll always see the conversion line as red. However, I think the industry standard is the baseline is red and the conversion line is blue. But I always remembered it as the baseline blue, conversion line red. And that's what these, bear with me, that's not what I'm trying to show you. So when you start to see these things really start trading in parallel with each other, that means there's a big time breakout that's going to be coming. And for example, once you see this red line start arcing from the blue line, gloves are off and we're about to see shit rock. Here's a prime example. I'm just showing you guys. So we had some horizontal trading. The conversion line took off. You can see that the candles stacked and then off to the races it was for Bitcoin. Now, things that I'm looking for in this respect, I'm looking for this red conversion line to cross back over this blue baseline. And that is kind of like my exit. That's my exit out. Right now, I probably would have exited this trade long ago, 42,000. Once these conversion and baselines start sticking together, you're gambling it, in my opinion. But as far as the relationship with the price action in the cloud, let's just look at this from a historical perspective. This really does help me catch falling knives, and they say never to catch a falling knife, and I could not agree with that more. Trying to catch falling knives is gambling, in my opinion. Unless you got some bulletproof system, it's hard for me to even catch them. And folks, let me tell you that with that said, like when I notice that price is down here, like this is a far, far distance to the Ichimoku cloud. I know that we might see some sideways trading or a little bit of a ride back up. But basically, think of the Ichimoku cloud as a contractor beam, like on an alien spaceship. I know it sounds weird, but you can see that once price just gets too far away, you just know that price is going to get reeled in. So the relationship of the distance between the candles and the cloud is very important to me. Also, I mentioned that this is the perpetual futures chart. We're going to get off this and get to the regular. We'll go against the US dollar. The one thing that I also watch for is the thickness of the Ichimoku cloud. So Ichimoku clouds, price action loves these little thin entry and exit points through the cloud. It's not often, or it often occurs that this doesn't even matter. But here's an example of price action choosing a very thin portion of an Ichimoku cloud to break through. Here's another example. Here is an example of a thick Ichimoku cloud rejecting price action. So when I start looking at thick Ichimoku clouds, typically I will not trade inside the cloud. If it's a very thin Ichimoku cloud, I might make some scalps or things like that. But you know, typically when it comes down to it, you know, you see a lot of failure trying to bounce off thicker Ichimoku clouds. Here it tried to bounce, and the cloud was too thick. So you know, the cloud thickness it's relevant, but it isn't. You know, so it's very hard to pass through thick Ichimoku clouds, whether it's a bullish pattern that's ripping off or a bearish pattern. So when it comes down to the clouds, you know, that's kind of like my answer to that. Let's just see. We got 60 strong, 56 in the chat. Guys, I'm sorry, but I have to wrap this up. We're on for an hour and 20 minutes now. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your project and do some TA on it. But I'm going to try to go live maybe tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Subscribe, hit that bell. I'll try to give you guys some notice on my Twitter handle, folks. You know, typically I'll try to give like some notice, like, you know, like a half hour or something like that, hour or two before I go live. But just hit me up on Real Six Fig. Of course, the bell on YouTube never lies. But thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone who super chatted. You guys are awesome. I sincerely appreciate all of the support. You know, I'm going to upload a new video here, and I don't know if you guys know this, but one of my dreams, I think I might pursue this after the next bull run. I think I might pursue this after the next bull run is doing animation. And I don't know if you guys are into like Wojak videos or anything like that. But I have a YouTube channel here called Wojak Adventure Time. I need to get this straightened out. But it's called Wojak Adventure Time. I got to upload a new video here. I started this about a year ago. It takes a long time to make one of these videos. And these are longer Wojak videos, like 5-minuters. So if you're into Wojak, just hit me up. Muhammad says ICP is going to see the Allah candle. I love that. Yeah, let's see it all. I want that. I want I want some God candles here, folks. So I love you all, and we'll see you guys all on the next video. Thanks again for stopping by. I sincerely appreciate all of you. Peace out.